What's good? What's good, man? Pardon the body for my tardiness. Pardon me for being late. You know, million and one excuses. So I'm not even going to give you any of them. Just pardon me for being late. Glad to be able to come on now. Wow. That's how I'm starting out. Out of the gate. Wow. A big applause to both debaters last night. Double Master Teacher Bluu versus Mr. Straight Talk Trevor. A shot at the championship on the line. The rookie versus the veteran. I mean, it was a classic. It was a classic. And that's what we're here to talk about. Let me drop the link out there too, man, just in case you guys want to get on, want to participate in this conversation, because I want to talk about it. It was, not only was the debate to me a classic, I think just the whole atmosphere surrounding the debate. It was something that Mr. Straight Talk had said. He was like, one of the things is to sell tickets. I think his knowledge of wrestling, his love of wrestling, not just the entertainment aspect of it, but also the business side, the whole structure of how it's structured. I can see him bringing that to the league. Shouts out to SVDL, the only league. Shouts out to the commissioners. Let me issue a formal apology too, man, to Commissioner Solar, man. I am so sorry. I was rude as shit last night. My man's doing the thing. I'm like, Solar, let us talk. I think it was just the atmosphere was there of excitement. Time was getting limited. I was like, listen, you guys did the opening. You had the opening. Let the debaters talk. We wanted to get in there. I mean, it was just like I said, it goes back to what I believe Brother Trevor brings. And that's that wrestling air, that excitability, because the atmosphere was absolutely electric. The face-off, the pregame, all just everything that was going in here, the interviews. We saw out of Mr. Straight Talk, desire, his ambitions, his goals. I mean, just laid out there, raw for us. What he was attempting to do, clear-cut and precise, and I believed possessed the capability that it was a possibility, you know what I'm saying, that I was, even if, you go back and check like what I was saying, how is Bluu going to pull that off? But we didn't nickname the man Blue Magic for any reason, and I think he did just that. Once again, congratulations, Bluu. Congratulations, man, to doing Bluu. Information, I think he, maybe we emphasize, I think here's what I like about Bluu. Gives you subtle fuck yous. You got to read between the lines. Bluu will give you a subtle fuck you. We're hollering, Blue's a philosopher, Blue's a philosopher. Mr. Straight Talk's going to kill him with the facts. I know that I had heard that, the stats, because one of the things Mr. Straight Talk is going to keep his little stats. So Blue's a philosopher. You got to watch that. I think Bluu came in with a very subtle fuck you, or not so subtle if you can read the signs, of a smooth operator, and hit us with stat after stat after stat after stat after stat, demolishing the myth that he's not going to bring the facts with it. Yeah, Mr. Straight Talk, that'll be cool. Demolishing the myth that he's not going to bring the facts with it. I know him to bring the facts. I know him to bring the scholarship, to bring his stats. But I think he made it blatant that he doesn't shy away from the research, baby. He doesn't shy away from the research. If anything, Mr. Straight Talk, if he set out to do, he did do, which he said he was going to do. He said that if nothing else, I'm going to bring the best out of the debaters, and I'm going to bring out, he said, I want that old Blue. I got to tease, you don't, Mr. Straight Talk. Listen, I got to tease. I wore my ass whooping. Real put that smoke on me. KOT knocked me out of the playoffs, so I'm in a position to talk, and you get to a point that you can laugh about it. It stings like a bitch. It stings like a beast. That's what I loved about when we talk about this debate. It wasn't only the debate, the greatness of the debate. Like I said, it was the atmosphere that surrounded it. From pre-debate, during the debate, then post-debate. In with such ways that was the first time. That's why they called the man Mr. Straight Talk. I think it was the first time, and I haven't been around the league as long as some of you guys, but that a debater express how all of us feel. Like, that was the realest shit to me. That was the real, because he is the only one. I mean, we take our losses, like Akasha, High Priestess Akasha said, man, which I totally agree with. It is difficult sitting there. You feel like you're on one of those reality TV shows, and the winner is. And you sitting there trying not to bite your nails. You're trying to look cool, calm, and collected, and it's very difficult. And when the winner is announced, the winner is Hootie Who. You just like, oh shit, and you're sitting there holding this like look on your face. And congratulations. And you're going through, in that instance, to me, is when the replay starts. Right there. If someone else has announced the winner of the debate, is when the replay starts. Beep. I'm like, what did he said, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, this, and that haunts you for a couple days. So that's what made me want to jump on there and want to talk to the brother, because I'm usually the one trying to articulate something and bring a point across. It is very rare for me that I find a black man that encapsulates, can articulate, express, damn near down to a T, my feelings. I only have a few in my life. Malcolm X, Tupac are the few that jumped off my head. Now, I ain't calling my man Malcolm X or Tupac, but what I am saying is this. At that moment, I don't know if it was the Gungun, his ancestors, or what, the general ancestors of us as beloved melanated people here on the shores of North America, I don't know. But at that moment, he was elevated to messenger, to like, yo, yes, amen, wow, however you, ashe, oh, and alhamdulillah, hallelujah, however you express that greatness, you know what I'm saying, that somebody had really just said some shit. So kudos, man. Shouts out for that. I really appreciate Trevor for that. I hope that he can jump on, because I want to go into a little bit of the debate. Not a little bit, a lot of the debate, what was going through his mind at certain points. I'm trying to really hope, because I'm like, I agree with the assessment of the judges, and I'm going to be real. This is one of, if I'm going to be real any other time, this is one of the few times that I've actually almost agreed, lock and step with the judges that I've like, okay, I can see it. No, this one I was like, wow, yeah. And even giving points that I had, I was like, wow, okay, yeah, I didn't, think of it that way. It was like that. One thing I will say though, and I'm glad we had the show today. I wanted to give it a moment because I do want to have a real show, and we may enter into some critiques and criticisms. And like I said, the losses in themselves are, they can be like, they suck. They're sucky. Losses in themselves sucky. To have made it this far, to be in the playoffs with so much on the line, with a shot at the championship and another shot at Rio, there was a lot on the line for Mr. Straight Talk. So I can understand that it can almost be to the point of like devastating in certain things when you're a man of aspiration. You have, what is it? Aspiration. You aspire to more. You have goals and you're dedicated to a thing, which I salute him for that. Yeah, not falling just short of that can be not just frustrating. Sometimes it can be devastating to that particular goal, to that what you were trying to achieve in that realm or on that particular objective. But I do want to talk about some of the debate, and it may go into criticism. One of the things I would have to say is, hey, listen, like I warned, and I thought the commissioners touched on it too. That was awesome. That listening ability that he has. And like she was saying, when they say king of the rapid fire, a lot of times we think offensively, but that even goes into defensive. Yes, Bluu will make you extracted. To me, that's where that philosophical mind state comes in. Blue's going to hit you with an answer that's a perspective, and you have to go dig. Blue's going to make you dig for it. He's going to run that clock down. It's not going to be no yes or no's. It's not going to be an easy interrogation. He's crafty. Like they were saying, he knows his veteran. I was saying earlier in the live, if you recall, if you've listened, if you're in here, smash that like button when you come in too. Tell your friends about it. Let me put up my, it's a little form for us. There goes Mr. Straight Talk. Let's get him in, man. Let's get my man in the building. What's going on, Mr. Straight Talk?
Peace.
Peace. First of all, man, congratulations for having made it that far. Congratulations for an awesome-ass debate. You did not disappoint. From beginning to end, you didn't disappoint. And creating, I was just saying a little earlier how I can see your studying of wrestling. Not just being a fan, but being one who, is in it from the business aspect to the structure of it. How you bringing that expertise over to the league and created an atmosphere before this debate that was insane. Like you said, hey, I'm about bringing them in the building. Bring them in the building. So the atmosphere before the debate was crazy. How you feel about, was that, and you said it was intentional, but did you think it would be that electric?
Well, so whenever I'm debating, I have like 4 different monitors set up. That's why MD was talking about my setup. So I was able to see the activity in the chat, and Solar does a disservice to me. I got to give a little I got to give him a little jab. Is he takes too long to do the premieres for the shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like I even tell, I say that to you guys a lot. If you're going to do a show, you got to let us know far ahead of time so we know, you know what I mean? Unless it's a spur of the moment thing. Because I like to, whenever I'm going to debate, I like to get it out to my Facebook friends and get it out to my Facebook group. But I was pleasantly pleased that the amount of them that showed up did show up, and they were very vocal in the chat. And
man, shouts out to Straight Talk Society, boys. Shouts. You came in with a camp. Who would have known when you was Trevor, when we was on the station, on that thing when I met you. Man, who would have known that you were? And I see that really that's not brand new. You were developing, cultivating that camp. But you made a smooth transition. You brought your camp over to the league smooth like. And they were banging, like you said, they were banging it out.
I have a following because of the podcast, and it's like, and then I have a Facebook group. So they follow me. A lot of them are people that have known me since we were little kids. So is that me or you? Oh, that's MD.
That's MD. Peace, MD.
People having, I got feedback.
Yeah, it's just
okay. All right, let me mute out.
So they follow me over, from the Facebook group, and they know me as kids. So for something this big, they were going to come over and support. And yeah, I do. Everything I do is like a spectacle. As far as when I say I'm gonna talk them into the building, and then we're gonna put on a show for you. All that's from wrestling. Like when you guys hear me talk, when you guys hear me do the shows, you always hear me go into a Dusty Rhodes or a Ric Flair. Because to me, whenever you hit that live button, I'm always in character. At the end of the debate, I was my true self though, with just the emotion that I felt. But yeah, man, I promise. I did promise a couple of things. I promised to bring on the victory, but I didn't. But I did promise I was going to bring out the best in Blue, and I think we got the assassin Blue last night. And
yeah.
I think
we got a Blue. We got a Blue that came out to play. I think Blue wanted to. It was almost like he was on a personal quest a little bit too. I think if he wanted to put any doubt to rest about his abilities, I think that he, mission accomplished. I think we did see a resurgence of the double master teacher. That was cool.
Surprised me.
So you guys know how before the debate starts, Solar will have you in the back, and normally Blue never has his camera on, but throughout the whole debate, like while we were waiting for it to show, Blue had his camera on. I had my camera on, and he just kept looking at me, and he just kept giving me that smirk, like you have no idea. He was like, you have no idea what's about to happen to you. And it was just, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. I will say this though, and because Akasha says this a lot, and I think you said this the last time we had it. I don't think the playoff atmosphere is not what got to me. That's not what got to me. I think I was big enough to stand up to the moment of the playoffs. That's not what got to me. Blue just outperformed me in certain rounds, and it had nothing to do with the playoff atmosphere. I went in there with a game plan that didn't work, and when he forced me to pivot, I ran into a brick wall, and I had that shit moment.
Yeah, classic Blue.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with the playoff though.
Yeah. Do you remember some of our conversations earlier? I was like, you have to be, one of Blue's things is Blue is cold. And when Blue gets you, if you say a thing, Blue can get you, take you down that rabbit hole.
Oh yeah.
Distracted. And when that's what Blue does, he probes. And when, like you said, you knew to kill him, I heard the intake of breath too. When you say game, I heard you I heard you take I heard you catch it. Like, shit.
Because where I wanted to go with it, I'm like, oh shit, why did you say that? Yeah. And then he caught it, and he was like, oh man, he said, oh, I'm gonna kill him now, and he proceeded to just slice and dice me, and I was like, damn. And once I lost the debaters vote, I knew the debate was over because the debaters know what it's like to be in that seat. So I was like, if I didn't win their vote, then I wasn't gonna win the debate. Like, so I kind of knew what was gonna happen. I just didn't want to hear it. You know what I mean?
Right. It's tough. And then again, man, let me kudos on the way you took the decision. Cool. I appreciate how candid you were in the beginning about putting your desires, your aspirations, your dreams and shit out there in the open. Many people don't do that. Many people are not bold enough. It takes a boldness to say, I'm gonna be the fucking champ. This is me. It takes a boldness. And then when not getting the decision that you wanted, you're sharing your vulnerability with us, your gracious defeat. And I think what got me is, like I was saying earlier, man, I never had heard a debater express exactly how I felt at that moment. You and I then had developed a kinship, and I think everybody in the league did. I think you were like a glue. You brought something with you this season. Let me just say that. I ain't blowing smoke in your face, bro. You brought something this season, and I think it was like a glue. You brought an element to the family, because to me, and it seemed many other debaters, you express a sentiment that we have all shared, but nobody has been given the moment or the opportunity by the Most High, the divine universe, whatever special force one calls upon, to be the one to articulate that for everybody. I appreciate you for that. You know what I'm saying? I really just had to say that. But, however, let's go back and touch on some of the aspects of the debate. I think, like they said in your, I think when you shifted, I think it took a shift. I think you began to address Blue head up, on some things. Instead of showing the counterculture, you began to just really start playing his game. Especially in the rapid fire and stuff like that. I think your rebuttal was cold, like they said. Your rebuttal was cold. You were coming on like, just make it make sense type of thing. And then in the rapid fire, you began to play his game. MD, you quiet about it. What? Give me a little feedback on what you saw last night, what you thought.
Oh no, it was a great debate. First of all,
man, no doubt.
Yeah, it was a great, man. I will say this. I was surprised that the strategy that Blue took. I was looking at Blue to get on the soapbox. You know what I'm saying? And he came with stats. But No, go ahead.
Now, did he? No, I'm agreeing with you. I said earlier, to me, it was a subtle. You don't think so? You don't think so?
Trevor. And listen, and I'm gonna tell you like this, because I'm not gonna be the guy that's gonna sit here the day after and disparage my opponent, because he did enough to beat me, obviously. But what I'm saying is all his stats, 90% of his stats stayed in Chicago. That's all I'm saying.
A good point. I thought
that's all I'm saying.
Just about to say that. I totally agree. Here's the thing.
Go ahead, MD. Go ahead.
I called him the stat man, right? I was surprised that Trevor didn't come with, like you said, the counterculture. This should have been a battle about the numbers. This is what this should have been.
Yeah.
Should have been a battle of the numbers.
Yep.
And I think Trevor presented the numbers. Blue, Trevor would have easily won this debate. It wouldn't even because, like I said, I can only come at it the way that I would have debated it, right?
Yeah.
And I would have my baseline, my foundation would have been 10% of all black people in the United. And we talking about the United States. All black people in only 19% live below the poverty line. That would have been my foundation. You would have to argue, okay, what black people are we talking about that represents this black male culture?
Right.
We assume that you're talking about people that are in poverty. I just told you 19%. That's a minuscule number. Then I would have worked from there by saying stuff like, well, hell, 39% of black men go to college. That's a far greater number than black men that are in gangs. I'll to the CDC. Black men are the most involved, despite marriage status, in their kids' lives.
I think Trevor touched it. That's why I say he touched on some of those things. But then I think he did mention that.
It had to be a numbers game, gang.
Yeah.
Because that's what you did. Blue brought up numbers.
Yeah.
I
Well,
would have
again, man, because everybody keeps coming in my office, man. So I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to jump off in a little bit. But I want to just say this. I'm gonna be listening, obviously, but um, the approach that I took, because that was a question. Like, man, nobody expected I was gonna take that approach. When you look at my premise said that all I'm going to show you is the real factors that's causing the demise of the black community.
Yeah.
And it's not black male culture. I never
Yeah.
said that I was defending black male culture. And that's what people,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
people notice. And
Yeah.
that's why when I say I was throwing out stats after stats, that's what you needed to look at when I threw out wealth disparity and educational
Oh, yeah.
disparity and all that stuff. So I don't think that, again, Blue stuck to Chicago, and Blue did something that
He did
Blue played. He played the
Blue
hits.
Magic. He did Blue
Yeah,
Magic.
he played the hits. He was able to villainize black male culture off of the city of Chicago. He basically he judged us by the worst of us, and that was a tremendous thing. Where I pivoted, I tried to get cute, and I was like, okay, my strong point is I'm a statue to death. I wasn't prepared that he was going to look at that and be like, well, all right, well, I'm going to do this stat, and they're going to listen to this one more. So he, I think he debated a brilliant debate. It's a reason why they call him the DMT. But I'm telling y'all, next season, I'm taking MD's approach, because the whole time after the debate, because I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? I said, okay, you get too wordy. I'm taking MD's approach. It's going to be straight line, refuted. That's exactly what it's going to be. I'm not going to be throwing in all these extra, shit like that. It's straight line, refuted.
But here's the thing though, Trevor. Like that would have been my approach, but I was surprised. See, with debating, it's about playing chess. You got to be one move ahead of your opponent. I would have never thought that Blue would have came with the strategy that he came with. Blue is known as a philosopher. At the end of the day, he's a nigga babble. But about it, in the terms of how he approached the debate, it was fabulous. I'm like, whoa, I expected that from
yeah.
But that's what I've been like, okay, I gotta go punch for punch with Blue at this point. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't do it in your premise, save it for the rebuttal or the rapid fire. Load up. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I think to me, and this another thing too, because I never looked at the rule book. I mean, that's we never read the terms and conditions. My main thing in the debate is to always kill in the premise round. And I always think that my premise round is so much better than everybody's that I could then turn around and be subpar in the other rounds. So I need to know how the score is weighted in those other rounds, because I think my premise round was phenomenal. And I was manageable in the rebuttal. He destroyed me in the premise. I mean, in the rapid fire. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Well, what happens?
But like, how is it judged? I need to see like what round gets more points.
Right. What happens is everything like what we saw is just a veteran, and everything counts because your premise was your premise was kick ass. You know what I'm saying? However, if they're close, like a lot of times what happens with those debates, shit is so close that if someone gets an explosive round, that's just enough to put them over. That's just enough to put him fucking over. Like they said, he exploded mainly in the rapid fire. But they said a lot of people had you coming out of, the premise, the opening, a lot of people had you coming strong because you brought the pain. It was, like I said, when I think he did classic Blue. If you blink, he's going to have you. And like you said, it was, to me, that misstep of getting into the gang territory, getting into Ignite, and Blue kept bringing that home. So you're acknowledging that this is a part of black male culture, and a lot of times sensationalism is the order of the day, developing you a swag and everything. So your premise, you got to remember, your premise was 20 fucking minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's caught up in the now. So I think we just see a lot of like what we saw in Rio and Good God Allah. You start to see the swag come out. You start to see why they're veterans, and you start to see what makes them a them. Like you said, he's called DMT for a reason.
Right. And I remember in your rapid fire, Trevor, when you asked him how many black people in America, he said around 40 million. Then you asked him how many. See, that was the whole basis right there. He only said 1 million people, which is in fact, that's probably a fallacy. It's probably way less than that. So man, yeah, you had
That's where MD. That's where I asked him what the percentage was, and he couldn't tell me. I said it's less than 1%, and that's when I had the opening, and I just froze. I'm like, no,
hindsight,
what?
Yes,
What
hindsight is
you
2020.
doing?
That's what we're talking about, right? Right. Hindsight is, but I bet you next season it's just those tad bit of experience that when you go into the next season, you're gonna be cold with it because you had experience. That's why I say congratulations from that marvelous victory and this and that. But this is what we do. We're gonna do the 2020. We're gonna do the hindsight. We're gonna beat up on your shit too, Blue. Like we're gonna, beat up on where we, in hindsight, what Trevor could have done. This is the fun part and the hated part of these shows after debates. But yeah,
Yanga, I asked him a question. So he threw out the stat. He was like, of the unintended pregnancies. He threw out that stat. And then he said 82% of those same women go back and do it again. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. What? And he was like, no, but they underage. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
What? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
He flipped it on you. He got sensational. You know what I'm saying? Pull it to Marshall, but they underage. Do you think it's okay for an overage man to sleep with under? No, it's not okay. But say also, the overage man sleeping with. I mean, he just got He tied pedophilia in with that shit. You like, wait a minute.
He is that dude, man. He is that dude. I'm not gonna. Hey, listen, man. He is that dude. And I said it when we talked. I said that I'm gonna bring out the best Blue because there's no way, as cool as Blue is, Blue can't say that it wasn't getting to him hearing me talk shit about him not being able to be champion again because I'm standing in his way. Like that had to just peck at him. And that's where the wrestling persona comes in. Like oh man, this shit gonna be amped up next year because I got a storyline now. I don't know. I know MD knows him, but I don't know if you familiar with a guy named Cody Rhodes, Yanga. That's Dusty Rhodes' son.
Oh, he call him Gold Dust or something?
Oh yeah. No, that was the other son. Oh. He came in with all these pomp and circumstances. He made it to the big dance, WrestleMania. Now he's about to face a champion, and everybody thought he was gonna win, and then he ended up losing. And the last picture of him was him laying in the ring next to a rubber chicken. And now that's my motivation going into next year. I've been Cody Rhodes. I'm the chosen son, and I failed. So my storyline for next season is I got to finish the story.
Okay, so we got to finish the story. We got DMT on the panel. What's good, Double Master Teacher? Congratulations too, bro.
Man. What's good? I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. I was definitely. Hey, where you kind of crushed me at. I don't know if y'all noticed, but during my premise, I actually had two slides that was missing. Like I got to two different sections kind of quick than what I was expecting to. I don't know if I uploaded the fucking wrong one or what, but I had stats on LA, on games in LA, because Chicago wasn't used for the games. My example for games was supposed to be LA. My example for crimes was supposed to be Chicago, and then the for prostitution, I was supposed to go into a story on a 12-year-old girl, a 13-year-old girl who was selling a 12-year-old girl to another 12-year-old boy. So, which was why I went into that the one where it was talking about the age of the girls is getting younger and younger, and the entry point is 12. The next slide was supposed to be about the 13-year-old girl selling a 12-year-old girl to a 12-year-old boy. And that's why I was going, and after that, I was supposed to go into Jay-Z talking about ladies' pimps too. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't get there. So I did feel like I was like, God damn, that's gonna hurt me, because I knew he was gonna jump on the fact all I had was, I mean, I had other stats. The other stats wasn't from Chicago. The NWPS or whatever that shit is, NHPS was just was the whole state, but that was for sexual exploitation. But I felt like I said I didn't have. I felt like I needed more, because my other stats was gonna show 20 between the ages of 20 to 23, 47% of the males gangbanging and are documented gangbangers in LA. You know what I'm saying? I was supposed to be able to show that too, but I ain't even get to go there. And then I assumed that you was gonna go to the black fathers being in the home. I assumed you was gonna go that direction. Brought that information out, not in the debate, but on the panel with Taz, and that shit got kicked the fuck around like bad, like that shit. I didn't even see the study on that. They only did 1,300 people on that study. You know, and when you really go into the numbers, the actual numbers, that we not there. we really not there. But
yeah, so disrespectful.
I was definitely prepared to kick that one around.
So disrespectful. Yet funny when you talk about when you talking about 20 brothers in a school. That shit was funny. Was there any point during the debate though that you kind of felt like, oh shit? Did you have an oh shit moment anywhere in there, Blue?
Yeah, twice, man. Once I realized I was going, I went into the next subject quick. I was like, whoa, that's too quick. I'm supposed to have something else right here. And then, but I had to keep going. And then it happened to fucking again. I was like, God damn. I said, bro, you can't be serious. But once I felt like in his argument, once he went and I think where I start feeling the opening at was in his premise, because his opening was about, black excellence. And so when he went into his premise and start going into all the things that's wrong in the community, I felt like, okay, there we go. And then when he went in and was like, this is black male culture, but then he said this black males ain't a monolith, I felt like that was another open. Because I'm like, I just, you know what I mean? I felt like, okay, I can play on this right here and just, and create a narrative against his argument. And that's pretty much, because he didn't have a bad argument. I just seen it was just a couple of openings in the premise where I was able to create a narrative on what he was trying to say. Because he's right, that ain't what he was.
I think we may have lost Blue for a minute. What do you think about some of the things he was saying, Trevor, about seeing those opportunities, taking them when you were talking about?
Hey, Yanger, I'm still here, but I'm moving around the shop, so I'm on mute.
Okay.
All right.
We'll go to my man MD's. By the way, MD, appreciate you following through, man, and jumping on here, putting some input and insight, which I know you possess on this thing. What do you think about some of the things Blue said, though?
I agree 100%. Like I said, I was not expecting that strategy from Blue. I want
yeah.
That's what makes it so surprising. I knew Blue's bread and butter was rapid fire. I said, okay, you know what I'm saying? He gonna do his shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the amount of sources that he presented in his premise, it was top notch, and I was not expecting that. What I was surprised by was the reaction ongoing with Trevor as far as how he went. Trevor brought stats too, no doubt.
Yeah.
But in some of the context of what I believe the title was, that's where Blue saw his opening, like you said. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because all I do was say, okay, if you're saying this structural racism is the root cause, what's the result? The result is the black male culture that you see today. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
definitely saw Blue's how how you doing the Birdman hands and whatnot during Trevor's premise. It was surprising to see what Blue did. That's why I had to give it to him. You know what I mean? I was like, damn. So yeah.
I think, like I said, I think that Blue came through with a here he goes, Black. Blue came through with a subtle, a not so subtle. Fuck you. I think he put a lot of heads to bed. Because that had been the thing. Blue's philosophical. Blue's very philosophical. You know what I'm saying? And then for Blue to come through with he just killed our ass with the stats. And making them effective. I think that was a key point. I know it was a key point for me. And then just getting, like Trevor said, one of the things too, I hope Trevor picks up from this, Mr. Straight Talk. I know you can't share with us, but you're listening, is to be a little more aggressive too. I listened to what Commissioner Angel said, I think about in the rapid fire, and I do think that he backed off a little prematurely on some things. And Blue, not being one to miss really anything, even took an opportunity to shoot a jab at that. When he would back off, he'd be like, yeah, that's right. You don't want to go there. You don't want to talk about that. I mean, all of those little things matter in the debate. So sometimes you have to be aggressive. And with Blue, he's not going to concede. Well, he's up here. Shit, you up here, mister. And you can step in anytime if you don't think my assessment is accurate. But this is just my assessment. You're not really going to concede the easy. It's never going to be an easy interview with you. After the couple debates we had, I know that's how you get down. You know what I'm saying? And you have to play tough like that with Blue. Well, I ain't gonna answer your fucking questions on your rapid fire. I'm gonna make you dig too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You
definitely gotta have the art. If somebody asks you, it's just as simple as, is Jesus the son? What son? You know what I mean? What you mean by son?
Right,
you know what I mean? You gotta not that son. You know what I mean? Or what you SON, SUN?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Man,
you definitely that I got from Yara. You know what I mean? I definitely got that. I had to pick that up from Yara, and then I had to learn how to. And then dealing with Yara, I had to learn how to ask questions the right way. Because if you don't answer it right, you're not gonna get the answer that you want. So it's like you gotta be real, you know what I mean? You gotta make sure you're gonna get the answer that you want. And you gotta make sure that you also is moving on. And Yara, bro, is the fucking master at that shit. Like,
shout out to Yara. Yeah. I noticed that during too.
That's really.
What did you get? I noticed that, man. You should, and that shouts out to you too. That's big up. It's honorable to be able to shout out people you've learned from in the league, and certain things you've learned from. And I noticed you did that. You shouted out, I believe it was Chris and Domo and stuff like that. Tell us some of the things that you just shouted out. Yara, shouts out to Yara. What are some of the things that you picked up from some of these debaters, and where did you see that it came into play, or you're utilizing them in the debate last night? Did you utilize any specific technique you may have picked up from any of these guys with your debate against Mr. Straight Talk?
Yeah, like with Domo, I learned not only just making sure you got your 3 points, but getting to the point first. Sometimes, a lot of times, I would take too long to get to my point because I'm trying to build. I'm usually trying to build up to it to where there ain't no outs. And sometimes you just got to get straight there and then build around it and build a barrier around it. You know what I mean? And so that's something that I definitely got from Domo is, go ahead and hit your point, your main point, and then build your wall around that. And instead of trying to build a wall first and then get to your main point. Because it gets lost by the end, you know what I mean? Because usually my last 2 to 3 minutes would be my strongest argument. And I had to learn, your strongest argument needs to go ahead and go into it. And then from there, at least make sure that everybody understands, you know what I mean, what you're saying before you start taking the long route. And, with Chris, which I didn't too much do it, but Chris will dismantle your fucking your whole argument in the opening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he will dismantle your whole argument. It's almost you'll almost think it's a rebuttal, but it's not. He's just setting everything up in the opening round and trying to, convince the judges that this is what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to do this, and that, and especially if you like send in the premise to Chris. Like your shit better be fucking right, cause he gonna fucking he gonna put your premise on the fucking screen and call out all of the fallacies in it, like everything, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I had to deal with that shit, and then even Anonymous, you know what I mean? The aggressiveness of Anonymous, and trying to. That's why I had to be attentive to every word, because I'm not as aggressive. And so, but I had to bring more energy, which I picked up later on because of because Anonymous, his energy, he always is going to sound like he's winning, no matter what's going on. You know what I mean? He's always going to make it, and he kind of, not showboat. I can't think of the word right now, but he's kind of like always showing you up to the judges and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like making it like you're not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
like
you know what I mean?
Here. Right.
Yeah. That's why, like, some of the, like, when he made a mistake, like when he backed, well, not necessarily made a mistake, but when he backed off on stuff, like, that's an Anonymous tactic. I got to make sure that, hey, yeah, you don't want to go down that route. Take another turn.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
That's an Anonymous, definitely an Anonymous tactic. So I definitely picked up a lot from these guys, bro. And it's been, it's been a journey just learning. And because I ain't never did it, I didn't graduate. You know what I'm saying? I didn't graduate none of that.
Right.
I picked this time in my life to start, getting serious about, being educated and shit like that. And so, but this is who I always been. I won the California State mock trial as a prosecutor. You know what I'm saying? Like over the whole state of California when I was in high school. And I didn't finish that. But
so you had it. It's a natural ability.
I definitely did that though.
Well, we saw aspects of it last night. Plus, you really are proving a lot to my point, man. When you take raw talent, when you take the skills cultivated from living a certain life, you hate to say street life because of the connotations, but just a real life, and then add some type of formal education, if you want to call it that, or I say just exposure to different understandings to books and things of that nature, man, you're making a raw creature. And also, man, I have to commend you. Shouts out to Domo, Chris, Anonymous, and all these people. I have to commend you for being hip enough and wise enough to extract the best out of opponents at times in your debate, seeing some things you could use and bring to add to your particular style and technique. Again, we saw that last night. I think in this time, especially when you come to the playoffs, and that's what I was, telling Trevor about playoff atmosphere. That's a part of it. In playoff atmosphere, since there is, certain elements are not there, the shucklebuck and certain elements like that, it really is a lot on just there are no slips. And every little extra thing you got is what it's about, because you see people bringing their best. So it's not really about a lot of slips. It's about who has that extra little thing to bring. And I think it was the extras that you have to bring, your ability to see, an opportunity to pounce on it, to capture the moment, to allow that to hold the moment. Because when he stumbled on that gang thing, you pounce on that, captured that, and just made that, and you really were able to utilize that. What did you think? Let me be quiet for a minute and ask MD or Trevor, anybody. Did they want to say anything, add to it, ask Blue, or, just jump in here in the conversation anywhere?
Well, I want to. Yeah, I'm at work, man, so I'm all over the damn shop. But Blue, like, because I played this shit back in my head already like 20 times since last night, and I'm like, so I created this character to come into the debate league with, to where I'm like, man, I am legit just gonna shock the world. That's even though I knew the history of SBDL. You got a guy like Domo who I thought was always the best, but he never made it to the championship. I'm like, you got Rio, you got Blue, been in it 5 seasons, never made it to the championship. But I created this character that was saying, I'm a buck all tradition. and not just buck tradition. I'm gonna walk into y'all debate league having never ever debated before, having only a high school education, having never gone and looked at philosophy and picked up a book or something like this. I said, I'm gonna walk into y'all debate league and I'm gonna just come in there and swing the big stick and I'm gonna be your champion. I told you, Yanga, when me and you did the show a day ago, that if I was able to get past Blue, I wouldn't have thought I was gonna have a hard time with Rio, because I think Blue poses a harder debate for anybody because he's so goddamn crafty. Like there was a like I mean, it's just so much, man. Like my mom was in the chat, like, you know, my mom never watched any of this shit, man. So for the fact that she was in the chat and she's sending the video out to other relatives and shit like that, a lot of them which agree with Blue. Like, that's even the more shocking thing. I got 4 messages this morning from aunts and cousins that staunchly, and these are women, staunchly agree with Blue. And I'm like, in what world do y'all live in that y'all can believe in what this guy is saying? So it's like Blue did a tremendous friggin' job. Like, that's it.
You know what though, bro? I used to be on the middle ground. You know what I'm saying? And like, because, and this was something, bro, that, cause oh my God, this nigga don't get the fuck out the way, bro. I know something.
Black male culture, bro.
Right.
Get your ass up out the way, dumbass. Stupid ass dude. But yeah, man, I had to look, because, you know, I always been one. I don't watch any Tyler Perry, anything that he makes, because I always felt like it was over exaggerated shit and all of that. But my grandpa and my grandma had 17 kids, right? And literally every last one of my aunties, including my mama, was abused. Every one of them. And they never seen that in their home. Because and that's what they always say. My grandpa was never like that with my grandma. All they ever seen in their home was love. But for some strange reason, and I don't mean like little, like seriously abused, like in front of people, didn't give a fuck where it happened at, like any place, anywhere. And this is just recently, I actually heard these stories, you know, from my auntie. It's a lot of times we look at ourselves and we look at the friends that we choose, and we don't really realize like what's really going on around us. You know what I mean? But when you really start to dissect a lot of what's going on, it's a bigger issue going on with, and the biggest issue is that we picked up a culture that says that these women belong to us.
That's my point. That's my point.
You know
what you just said. That was my point. I would have harped on that. It's not neocolonialism. That it is not our culture. That this is that this is an appropriation of a culture that is actually white male's culture.
But didn't I say that when I said? Didn't I say that when I said institutional racism?
Exactly.
It was drilled into you.
Exactly. But that's what we're saying, Trevor. I think you got on Blue's page. You didn't stick to. You touched. I said that, man. You touched on all major points, but you can't just touch on them. You have to hammer them bitches home. You know what I'm saying? You touched on them, but Bluu hammered his shit home. But you did touch on all of those things. That's what. So
it's hard to, because you gotta come to grips with the fact that most men ain't like you. You know what I mean? Most men, when they feel like their property is being disobedient or getting away from them, they get aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Most men can't just see a woman to allow a woman to make a decision that she wants to move on, and they okay with it. See, one of the stats I brought out, I didn't even bring out, was that over like 52% of the stalkings that go on are black women, and that shit starts with them in high school.
But is
From
it
high
done by
school,
black
they
men?
get fucking stalked. Yeah, these are their boyfriends. These are they. You know what I mean? These is dudes that they talk to. They can't even. I tell girls all the time, like, today is the day. Get you a text now number. Because when a nigga asks you for his number, just fucking give him the goddamn text now number and move on. You can't even. It's women, bro. They afraid to even tell it. They can't even tell a nigga no without him either getting aggressive. You know what I'm saying? In a way, because a lot of cats, number one, the code we done picked up some shit that says that not only do we have to prove to other women that we're the hardest on the block, but also the other men. And so in that reality, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Niggas will step on your shoe. Think about how disrespectful it is. A nigga asks you, yo, is you with him in front of your face? I mean, that shit ain't happened, but I was one of them niggas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't have no problem. I walk right into the store, and it's him with his girl, and I ask her straight off flat, yo, you with him? And dare that nigga to say something.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that be that, proving shit that ain't even really, you ain't gotta prove. And it's because of our value is being based on, and this is what Bell Hooks talks about, our value being based on what we do. And what we do for instead of just being. You know what I'm saying? We ain't really, we don't, and this is where we all share a problem in, is even with the women, is the rhetoric at home when the kids, when boys is being brought up, is, not being, you ain't worth the nickel. You know what I mean? I know probably almost all of us have heard that shit before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't worth the nickel. Your daddy wasn't worth the nickel. You know what I mean? Shit. So that our value system ends up being worth what we do. And it's never based on just being. And so we always gotta fucking prove something. We always we're feeling like we got, you know what I mean, to show that we can hold our own, we're strong. And
well, you know where they say that comes from, Blue. You know where they say that comes from, right?
What are you saying?
That saying he ain't worth a nickel.
Oh, you ain't worth a nickel?
Yeah.
Nah.
They say that was black women's way of protecting us. They thought they were protecting us. When Master used to come around, but like, he ain't worth shit.
Right.
He ain't worth a nickel.
Right.
So I don't know. I think that whole cultural piece could, like I said, I think Trevor touched on some important aspects, and then you're saying some good things. Have we appropriated something so long? And when you look at epigenetics and shit like that, have we incorporated to such a degree that it is a part of black male culture here in the shores of North America? Damn, it poses a good question. What's good, Domo? I dropped the link in what, man, we just mentioned you, boy. You talk about,
about
an angel there appear. That's what they say. Let me put the link in the chat,
he can
man.
really articulate this kind.
Let me see. So we put it in there. Okay.
Yeah, would you bump Blue off?
Hey, nah, you dropped it off. I don't know what Blue into. Yeah. What's up,
I'm a drop down because, like I said, I'm at work, man. And I'm kind of trying to hang out in my office so I don't hear all the noise. But I really got a bunch of work I got to get done.
Yeah.
But like I say, I'm not taking nothing away from Blue because Blue beat me, and all I'm gonna say though is Blue. Let's run it back next season.
Ooh.
Let's run it back next season. I got Yanga, I got MD, and I got Inyame. I'm gonna go through a murderous road next season, but it's all good
There it is.
because y'all made me. I feel like this debate shit made me better. Like it made me go search shit that I would have never searched otherwise. So I hope you beat Rio, man. I just hope you beat Rio because the person that beat me, I'm like in the NFL. Like if you in the AFC, then I'm gonna probably root for you because I'm a Dolphin fan. So you on my side. So I need you to go ahead and beat Rio, man.
Bro, I was happy to have a debate with you in the first place.
Blue, you in a bad area.
Yeah, you're breaking up, Blue.
Hey, I'm about to drop down too, Yang. I gotta goddamn pick up this load, man.
All right, man. I appreciate you hanging out.
Hey, congratulations to both of y'all, though, man. Hey, again, I want to see that Blue Rio. A slick talking, a fast slick talking Negro versus a slow slick talking Negro. I want to see that. I'll pay for that.
Hey, MD, come up with some immigration topics, cause me and you got to run it next season.
Hey, we got all off season, bro. We got time, man. We got time.
But start thinking about some immigration topics, cause I know you want to get with me on that immigration shit.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Listen, I'm glad that you went on. Okay, Trevor, I'm glad that you went on and got this shit out of the way. Blue got it out of the way, gave you tough skin because season 6, that lineup you got, you're gonna start the gate out getting your ass tore up. So I'm just letting you know.
Yanga, I owe you an ass whooping because of you. Everybody could talk the shit that they could talk. That I got my first playoff. My first round was in the conference championship. That was because of you. So I owe you an ass whooping.
That's why I'm gonna be that cherry on the cake. I'm gonna put that ass whooping on you to finish off the top off season 5 and start season in 6 with a bang. Nah, man, listen, great fucking debate.
Is this Domo?
Yeah, man. What's up, Domo?
Oh shit, Domo.
What's good with it? What's good with it?
Damn, I never had a chance to publicly speak with you. Shit, I'm about to get down, but I enjoyed what I did see you over at SVDL, man. So for whatever that's worth.
Appreciate it. Nah, you good.
And you were definitely robbed. You were definitely robbed against Steam, but that's another different thing.
Yeah. Water under the bridge, bro. Water under the bridge.
Yeah. But anyway, man, Blue, man, good luck, man. I know you're gonna do it. That shit gonna be fire. But just know, y'all ain't seen the last of me. I'm coming back next season.
Absolutely, man. Shouts out to Mr. Straight Talk Trevor. Came in season 5 exploding, brought a team, Straight Talk Society. Shouts out to them. Shouts out to Mama Straight Talk for supporting her baby. That's what's up. I totally got it. Man, listen. I got it when he said that about because when I first got in the league, that's something my son and I shared. He had an opportunity to see his father in a different light, to see me doing my little thizzle. You come in with your little thunder and shit. So, I totally got it. Damn, my mom's watching and stuff like that. Shouts out to, again, Trevor, Straight Talk Society, man. Keep supporting. I'm looking for him to do big things in season 6 after I beat him, of course. I'm looking for him to do big things. But, man, Domo, what's good, baby? Where you been at, what you into, and what's good with you?
Oh, man, shit. I've been around.
Okay.
Just chilling. You know what I mean? Playing the you know what I'm saying, back seat. I'm just sitting watching niggas work.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You seen your boy work last night? You see DMT here work last night?
Nah. I actually my fault. I didn't. But I mean, shit. What round y'all in? Where y'all at?
Shit,
I'm in the championship, bro.
Yeah, man.
Shit,
he going to the ship.
Bro.
Yeah, he's going to the ship, man. He did his thing, man. Listen, Blue. I told everybody I thought it was and I'll say it for Domo, and you probably heard it, and the people that chat have heard me say it again. I told it was a fuck you to the people who said that you couldn't break. To everybody that was like, "Oh, Blue's philosophical." And I was one leading up to the cheer. I'm like, "Yeah, watch Blue. He's philosophical. Blue will." He'll have you agreeing with some shit that you'd be scratching your head about, and I think that everybody put, you know what I'm saying? And everybody put that out there. And you came in with stat after stat after stat after stat. I was like, oh shit, is this a fuck you, Yanga? Is this a, let me show you cats what I can really do. So, man, I thought that great debate. Let me just say that. And the fact that Domo, one of the things, man, we talked you up. Blue had said on the post-debate show, he gave some big kudos, big shouts out. And he said one of his things was that he had taken from all the debaters that he had been influenced by and debated, and your name came up, Chris came up, Anonymous came up. Shouts out to those guys. I know when I came in, they were, fucking titans in this thing doing their thizzle. Domo, you've been one of those. And so we can see where Blue really put that into use. Season 5, it's your thing, baby. What are you expecting going up against Rio, though?
Yeah, man. It's gonna be a.
Yeah, he got.
Rio. Oh yeah, finally, bro. It's been 5 seasons I've been trying to get. Finally. Yeah, man. Yeah. I just, I gotta be ready to get my questions answered.
Exactly. Exactly. You done went up against Rio, Domo?
Oh yeah. I beat Rio.
Okay, what was your experience? Oh shit, because Rio. I mean, I don't even want to talk about my debate. I don't even think I showed up for me in the Rio debate. That motherfucker just beat me senseless. We ain't even gonna talk about that. But what was your they just spanked me over the head with the Bible. I mean, damn, I almost converted. Jesus loves me. This I know. They almost shit Rio got stupid.
I mean, he's Rio is he a performer. You feel me? So
yes,
and what I teach is debate is a performance activity. You know what I mean? So the better you're able to perform, the better you look, regardless of everything else. You know what I'm saying? If you win the optics battle, you halfway there. And Rio can preach his ass off. So if he get up there and start preaching on you, you know what I mean? Like you really gotta be able, to match that. You gotta be able to match that energy.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to match that energy. And so
I agree. I call it the Tupac effect. Like, to me, Biggie is a better lyricist than Tupac. I'm gonna be real. Even though I'm a huge Tupac fan, but Tupac delivers those simple lines in such a way you feel it. That's what Rio has. It ain't no big lyrical display. It ain't no, but he can deliver those simple truths in such a way that it's like, damn. And to me, and this is not to take anything from his debate skills. In fact, it can't be taken from his debate skills because, like you so adequately put it, Domo, the performance, the optic effect, the performance, the edutainment aspect of it is huge. But I believe 40 to 45% of Rio's thing is just his ability to in his delivery, in his performance, his swag, and his drip. You know what I'm saying?
To be honest, it's much more than that because most
okay.
niggas, like outside of the niggas taking like doing the debates, most niggas ain't taking notes. Hell, most of the debaters don't take notes. So it ain't really like anybody gonna go back and check and be like, let me check this source. Let me see if these numbers is actually correct. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really like shit. Can you make it sound like you know what the fuck you talking about? And again, not even to say Rio don't, but I think that just as because debate is a performance activity, like you at least got to be able to match that energy. Like and I learned that early on in politics when you look at the first televised debate was between Richard Nixon and John F. Kennedy, and the people that listen to that debate on the radio said Richard Nixon won. The people that watched it on TV said John F. Kennedy won.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like okay, like that. So that it matters. You feel me?
This brother went back and got a history of debate on your ass. He brought it out.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Domo. I heard that. Word.
Yeah.
So it plays a very big part of it.
The huge. I mean, because at the same time, it has to be entertaining for the information to register.
Mm-hmm.
Like even what you're trying to put down, you could be it could be some hard shit. Like you could have facts on your side, but if you ain't packaged the facts in a way that's digestible, that's a way for the people to attach themselves to what you're saying, and it's gonna.
I totally agree with that. I've totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. I find myself because you're not also trying to captivate, and I find to a degree entertain. Sometimes you're also educating. You ever had those debates that the judges and the people is so foreign that it's like, damn, how do I educate the judges while trying to win the debate, or educate the people because I know this is strange, and where I'm trying to take it is even going to be stranger in order to pull this off. How do I do?
That's why I tell niggas though, like you don't even want to start from the basis. Like you want to assume the person that's watching, the audience, the judge. You want to assume that they got no clue what you're talking about, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
You want to start from that basis.
Okay.
You feel me? And then work your way up, because like once it start out too nuanced, once it start out too kind of like in the weeds of the information, and then with this type of shit, these public debates, you know what I mean? Like public debates, they serve a much different purpose. You know what I mean? Like it in order for it to be informative, you know what I mean, it got to be done in a way where niggas where everybody can be a part of the conversation. Because if you make somebody feel like they left out of the dialogue because they ain't read what you read, then they not gonna attach themselves to you. You know what I'm saying, as a debater or the shit that you're saying. You know what I mean? So you want to, and that's where ethos come in when you talk about pathos, ethos, and logos. You want to operate within the ethic of your audience, within the ethos of your audience. Yeah.
That's real, but that can be difficult, but that is essential. That is essential.
Definitely.
That's why shit. I fuck Blue, my man. Man. I fuck with Rio too. I don't know, Blue.
Yeah, this shit is gonna be. I mean, like, yo, this is.
I ain't gonna play with him.
And I know that, and I know Rio's coming out the gate swinging. It is not going to be. I don't think either one of y'all playing. I don't, because this is Rio's first opportunity at the ship, isn't it? Yeah, man. Shit. So both y'all coming out hungry and swing. Do you guys have a title yet?
These niggas been going back and forth for about 4 years, nigga. Like about the same shit. So it shouldn't be no struggle.
Shouldn't be no struggle to come up.
Yeah. Well, man, with the last title, it set the stage so much. I can't go backwards with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can't really go to what we've been wanting to do. You know what I mean? What I've been trying to do. Yeah, I can't even do it. So it's like I'm gonna have to either I'll defend the image of Stimia, or because I wouldn't mind debating. Is uplifting the image of Whoopi Goldberg valuable to the community? Does that bring value?
Man, if you don't take that one, we can take that one for season. We can take that one for season 6.
Yeah.
You and I take that one. I told you how I feel about objectifying women. I told you how I feel about objectifying women. Yeah, so absolutely. Absolutely.
I definitely, I wouldn't mind taking that. I'll defend my stance in this, because I think, getting him to more so to defend his, I think is, that'll kind of take his
in the opposite direction. But I think if I put some of my own doctrine on the line, I think it's still a progressive conversation for the league, and I think I'm able to defend it.
There it is. There it is. It's put out there, man. If this gets out there, the Rio shit, you have it as a subject, a possible topic for a debate. Yep. I'm gonna ask you the obvious silly question. Are you a little nervous going into the playoffs?
No, actually, I mean,
really,
to be real, man, I'm real confident on this one. I've heard him over and over again. I've heard him in multiple debates, and so everybody always makes a mistake. You know what I mean? That's one thing I've always noticed. Everybody makes a mistake, and so for me, it's the same thing I always do: be attentive and wait. And when he makes that mistake, continue to kick him with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the game plan. But I just got to make sure everything else is solid, and that my premise and everything is clear. My argument is clear. I'm getting straight to my point and my premise, and then building my wall. And then from there, once we get to the rebuttal and the rapid fire, that's where I pull away. The same thing with this debate.
Okay. You definitely, when you get on that rapid fire leaps and bounds, did you see, they already call you king of the rapid fire, but could you feel it when you began to pull away? Did you know the moment when you had
the moment he said gang? Yeah, he was dead at that point.
Yeah.
I asked him what his black belt coach had built to protect the community. That was the setup
when he said gangs, you set him up. I could, and like he said, to his credit, he wanted to go somewhere else with it, but I think he said
tried to go to the Black Panthers.
Yeah, he answered prematurely. Oh yeah.
I thought he wanted to explain that shit.
Hell yeah, he wanted an opportunity to explain it. Wasn't gonna happen. That's the thing about them debates. Once you make that oops, once you make that left turn, there's no U-turn. It's like being on the damn highway. You gotta go to the next fucking exit. There might be 20 miles. You're like, shit, I missed my turn. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. And you would not. Yes, he missed that turn, and you were like, gangs. Thank you, and it was like brrr, from that point. And I think it frazzled him because there were other aspects that you begin to pick apart at something else he was saying too, And I think when he got to addressing those specifics and got away from some of because there were some slips you made. There were some slips, Blue.
Yeah.
And like he said, in hindsight, he's catching them. A little more shouts out again to Trevor, a little more experience. Trevor's gonna be, and he's a serious contender now, but he's going to be that much more. I don't want to say, savvy. You hate to boost. Trevor's one of them when Mr. Straight Talk, you can't really put it. You hate to boost his ass up because you have to be like, I got to beat his ass. Mr. Straight Talk. Ain't no. That's why he's Mr. Straight Talk. Ain't no side walking around it. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through that shit. But great debate, man. Great debate. Doma, I know you got some advice for Blue up against Rio. What advice would you give the Blue going into a shot at that championship?
I guess I really just don't try. I mean, it's Blue, so it's kind of like you can't really. I don't expect Blue to try to outdo, out energy. I try to do more than Rio. All I say is this: without giving up the farm. You feel me? I just make sure to know to start off thinking about the number one thing he gonna bring up. Just the number one thing and just make sure you prepare for that, and then defend when you say the importance of bigging up that image. if you able to sit on that, you know what I'm saying, and make sure it ain't them other distractions don't get away from that, I think you can make a pretty strong point. But I don't know. But I expect Rio to come harder than that though. I don't. I think he may think like, you know. I think he may appreciate the stakes and be like, maybe. But you still got to make sure that, oh yeah, I know this thing. You know what I'm saying? I know what you say in this instance. You feel me? And this, you know what I'm saying? I'm prepared for that. But
yeah, I'm pretty clear where he's gonna go with it. If it's to be that debate, I'm pretty sure I know where he's gonna kick with me at. But to me, that falls into my hands, because then I get to explain away my other point. And so, you know, I'm hoping that's the title, and then that it gets to go there, and I get some shit off my chest that I think is important, because I think we had a conversation a lot, but and for a lot of people, it kind of goes over their head why that's the image, you know. And I get what Yang is definitely. I definitely understand. I don't think it goes. I think for a lot of people, they don't really understand the importance of it, you know, and why. So, and I think it's easy to kick with her character, you know, or not necessarily her character, but, you know, some of the things that we've seen in the public eye. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I'm prepared to defend that.
That's going to be an interesting debate. If he takes that is going to be one interesting ass debate.
Yeah, definitely.
That is.
I think that's a big one.
Man,
Stimia on trial.
Stimia on trial. Stimia versus Jesus Christ.
I don't understand. I really can't see why it would be anything other than. I don't understand why it'd be anything else.
Yeah. Oh, I mean that's going to be the thing. I think that's what's going to make it interesting. Even if he doesn't directly proselytize, I think he's going to be one of the things. The sure paganism of it all is going to be inspiration for a fire ass debate. I think if he takes that alone is going to, even if he, like I said, doesn't directly proselytize the salvation through Jesus Christ, I think his battling paganism and idolatry is going to be fuel enough, is going to be so much inspiration to fuel a very passionate debate. And knowing your belief and where you stand on it, and, you know, time behind not just Stimia, not just the logical fact of, you know, science, technology, engineering, and math, but also uplifting the image of Black people, destroying that neo-colonialist understanding of white supremacy amongst our color, despite how I feel about it. Where you're going, I understand. I see the nobility in what you're trying to do, and as passionate as you are about that. And like I said, this is where your philosophy, you being a philosopher, really comes in. And most, to me, prophets are philosophers. Really comes in that your ability, because we've discussed this shit before. I think we went back and forth on it, and you've had moments where I'm like, you know, that's plausible. You know, I'm a pagan to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Because I do acknowledge the Orishas and stuff, but you know, it was like, I can see what you think, but you know, my problem with it was social, political, cultural, about reverse colorism. But that shit promises to be interesting. It promises to be an interesting ass debate, man. I know I'm gonna be these playoff. I hope he takes that. These playoff debates have been fire. They have been fire.
I think that's gonna set the standard.
Oh man,
because we gotta up it, man. Debating black male culture was a huge. I think that's
super huge.
Yeah, I got on my Cynthia G soapbox last night, Domo.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You know, it was disgustingly satisfying. It was sickening, but he delivered that shit. I mean, I was like, look at this nigga.
These niggas around,
man. Nigga was like, damn.
I mean, shit, nigga should make it so easy.
Yeah, man. I mean, they made it too easy. They made it too easy, and the brother capitalized and just brought that shit home. It was, like I said, disgustingly satisfying. It was like, God damn.
It's a
You
lot
know,
of
we
it's a
got to
lot of
tighten up.
shit niggas be
We got to
jumping out
tighten
the
up.
window to defend that is just like let it go, bro.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to acknowledge. You know, when you're part of that small percentage that still wants to believe, you know, in the inherent good of black people, especially black men, and that we're making all of these strides, you know, because your small circumference has, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's tough to hear contrary. You know what I'm saying? And I still believe, listen, I still believe it was a great debate. I still believe, I don't know. I'm not going to say I was that convinced though, Blue. I just believe that Trevor, this was his first, he's a rookie. You know what I'm saying? Give him a little bit more. I think he had a little bit more to come with. I think he would have seized a lot more opportunities. I think just experience, wisdom, and all of those things, if he'd have had those, would have been to his advantage. You know, right now he was a rookie and he made some rookie mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And in the playoffs up against a vet, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. You can't fuck around and play with you. That's just the bottom line. You can't play with you. You know, that's why the you and Will thing is going to be so good.
But I felt like I wanted to go into some of the things that Bell Hooks talks about, but I didn't want to sympathize with black men too much.
Yeah.
And I think in some of the rhetoric, she kind of sympathizes with them, and then also goes into what role women also play. Because you're right, a lot of the women too are really heavily patriarchy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like they are really heavy on patriarchy.
Yes.
And that's one thing Bell Hooks has been accused of. She was accused of being too not necessarily lenient, but too forgiving. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas. Yeah, I mean, which I ain't had no problem with. You know what I'm saying? That's why niggas fuck with Bell Hooks, because she seemed to be a bit more balanced. But patriarchy ain't just about who maintain the power. It's a question of who believe in the structures. Period. Yeah, right. I mean, so if you fit, so even, I mean, a lot of the shit that we saw with like how that like Kevin Samuels type dialogue and conversation was maintained and sustained was by women who believed in the patriarchy. You know what I'm saying? Who wanted acceptance through the patriarchy, who wanted to learn how to navigate the patriarchy. You feel me? And so, you know, that's why
and that really creates an issue. This heavy belief in general, and they don't really realize that shit is going to continue to hurt the culture in itself. Because like you can't play that shit like righteously, because it still causes the same thing. How we not being valued. Like I said, we're not being valued for just being. It's only being valued for what you do, and then maintaining that structure of basically, violence is being a form of of being a man in danger and fucking, you know what I'm saying, all of the crazy shit that come with it.
Yo, and this how you know. This how you know, like a lot of this shit the niggas be on really just be anti-woman, because a nigga will tell you that the reason why men are weak today is because they raised by their mamas.
Yep.
But then niggas will also tell you that niggas were always told not to express their emotions. Who told them not to express their emotions? They mama.
Yep.
Who did they mama get it from?
Exactly.
The patriarchy. It was women wasn't telling their sons to be more open and to be more expressive, even when it come to their gay kids. Niggas mamas treated like single mothers treated their gay kids terrible.
Hell yeah.
Single mothers treated their gay kids the same way a father would and a mother would in a nuclear home.
And that's that because that's that belief in that patriarchy.
Exactly. Because you know what I'm saying, in this case, the heteronormativity that come with the patriarchy. But yeah, exactly. But regardless of where you fall on the line of, you know what I'm saying, homosexuality, whatever, at the end of the day, there is still a belief, regardless of whether or not the father is in the home, the relationship to being against homosexuality is still in the home. What a man should do is still in the home. What a man should look like is still in the home. How he should, you know what I mean? Like that shit. That
It
shit
even
never
shows
changed.
up in the LGBT community though. But the way that even the way that they identify with gender roles to me is counterproductive to the community in a
What do you
lot of
mean?
ways.
What do you mean?
Because they uphold the same, they uphold the gender role. They make a decision on, well, I'll wear the pants, and you, like, the whole point of it is supposed to be redefining what we see as masculinity and femininity. But what they do is they uphold the same thing. One person, whether it's the two women, one person feels like they gotta wear the pants, and then she begins to take on this persona of what she believes masculinity is based on the patriarchy. She falls right into the same role.
So it's counterproductive to what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, you're not going to accomplish, having men feel less threatened by homosexuality, but yet you're personifying, you're trying to personify the stereotypes of what a man is.
And it ain't even as much of a question of whether or not it's counterproductive, but just speaks to more of the pervasiveness of patriarchy. Because even people who don't benefit from it still reinforce it. You feel me? Like like, for example, like black men don't benefit from modern notions of patriarchy. Right? Because modern notions of patriarchy was shaped by white men. That means that, like, the notions of power, how we understand power, how we understand our relationship to our women, how we understand our relationship to kids, how we understand our relationship to family, stems from what we learn from off of the plantation. At no point have niggas look back and question certain notions of, well, I ain't gonna say no, you know what I mean? You got writers and thinkers and people. But even when you study like Frederick Douglass' work, you know what I mean, when he was talking about what his home would look like or should look like he's literally saying like reflecting the same hierarchy that he saw in the master's house. And so it's like, all right, if we literally talking about detaching ourselves from white ways of thinking, that means it got to be a flush all the way. And we can't say, all right, I'm gonna detach myself from the way white ways of thinking when it comes to race, but when it comes to gender, I'm gonna think the same way the white man did. So I think you're right on that. I'm gonna detach myself from how the white man think about money, but how the white man think about sexuality, I'm more comfortable with that. So I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna keep that.
Wow.
Right.
So niggas in this part, like we negotiate which part of the white man we feel like we want to detach ourselves from. And the thing about it, even when I say detach ourselves from, like as a nigga who like, like talk about this type of shit and recognize like the role that society, or like white society, plays in shaping how we understand shit like homosexuality, I still get checked and fuck up, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been socialized as a black heterosexual male. I would say cisgender, but that just be pissing people off. Like, say a nigga say, well, he calling himself cisgender. Like, nigga, it's a label. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of them. It's one of them things where it's like, just because I can recognize who taught me this, I still, you know what I mean, I still have a relation. Like, it's still attached to me. You know what I mean? It's still a part of how I see the world. You feel me? So like my co-host on my podcast is a queer black woman. You know what I'm saying? And she constantly having to be like, nah, nigga. Like, I say some shit and she
Let
be
me
like,
try,
yeah, nah, that's fucked up.
Had to correct that. Put your podcast in the chat, man. Shout your podcast out. Definitely put it in the chat so the people can check it out. Yeah,
for sure. The Chop Up Show, just the Chop Up Show on YouTube, Instagram.
The Chop Up Show.
Yeah, I put it. Yeah, I gotta get to the other screen to do that. But
Okay.
but yeah, I put it in there. But so it ain't even like it ain't even like niggas is saying like, yes, like everybody be gay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't. It's just like, nigga, like, y'all ain't gotta beat these. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people get beat up for that, like that's not right. We should be able to recognize that. You know what I mean?
Right.
When it, like regardless of how you feel about trans people, if like when you see that like the violence that they got to deal with, that shouldn't be okay.
Yeah,
You feel me?
absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah, like that's,
absolutely.
and I think that's where niggas is where motherfuckers is asking niggas to get to a place to, but then just having that conversation and turn into, oh, y'all niggas want everybody to be gay and y'all trying to molest the kids and all that other type of bullshit. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like it's probably niggas listening now that's like, these niggas is on some other shit.
Yeah,
And
probably, but
Yeah.
that's just as uncivilized shit. That's the very shit we talk about. That's what we can't allow to be the very debate you had, Blue. We can't allow to be part of black male culture. Violence reinforces everything for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because I disagree with your lifestyle or whatever that. So my disagreement is gonna be punctuated by violence. I think it's okay for violence, either me to enact it or to watch it be enacted or to encourage and endorse inaction. It's just wrong, man. And we don't want that to be a part of our culture. Wrong is fucking wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Wrong is fucking wrong, yo. And that is definitely some devilment, some devil culture. If you ask me, I'm gonna physically make you comply to my beliefs. You know what I'm saying? That's that bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
Or even what niggas expect their role to be, like where it's like, oh, I have to be a protector, like right. So that's automatically like, yeah, that like exactly. But at the same time, a nigga ain't like, all right, let me be a protector of her inner peace. Like, let me be emotionally stable so she can be emotionally stable. It's like, nah, I gotta think about. I remember it was this one nigga a long time ago. We was on a panel, like it's probably like 3:00 in the morning or some shit. It was this nigga named you remember Big Gang Orenthal James?
Oh yeah, bro. Who we used to beat up? Who we ran up?
And that was the first time I encountered the manosphere, bro, because it was like the nigga was like, yeah, and black women and black, and I'm like, wait. Like, wait, what is this? Like, what are you complaining about? And the nigga just started talking about how, they complain about this and this ain't true and this ain't, and I think they was talking about like The Color Purple or some shit. It was talking about like
Alice Walker's work.
Yeah, like how movies like perpetuate, like I think they was trying to shit on Alice Walker or some shit. And I was like, hell nah, what is niggas doing? You know what I'm saying? Like our black writers, we ain't letting that shit fly. Yeah. But the nigga was trying to say that they push like anti-black men agendas. And I'm up in there like, nah, bro. It's like there are historical narratives around the fucked up nature of like, because niggas be like, man, if you look back in the day, okay, yeah, let's think about it, bro. Like Fences is a good representation of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if y'all seen that shit.
What?
With Denzel?
Yeah, it's based on the play. Yeah. But like when you look at, like, for example, when niggas talk about like that like back in the day, you had that strong father that worked and provided for his family, and he was in the house, you know what I mean? And then at the same time, it's like niggas, it was because of the trauma these men was dealing with, a lot of them was alcoholics. For example, my grandfather, you know what I mean? Veteran, hardworking man, got his degree in the in the army. Alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Or nigga got who grandpa ain't got a whole, like, for black people, your grandpa having a whole nother family is like halfway normal.
Right.
Your mom and them,
right.
your auntie and them got other, but they got a different mama. That's still y'all people. They got a different mama. You know what I'm saying? So it's like let's really think about like what it is that the parts of what we try to praise when we go back and say this is how shit should be look. This how shit should look. This how it should be done. Because like, how was niggas back then?
Right, just as bad, bro. It was even worse. The kids was less protected at that time.
You know what? And speaking of Alice Walker, man, like you said, it's a lot. She exposed me. She had a book that I read called Possessing the Temple of My Familiar. And that was the first time, I used to, glorify Africa, and she talks about clitoral mutilation, female circumcision. Yeah. That was the first time that I had ever heard about that. I even thought they did shit like that. But yeah, man. So Alice Walker, I agree with you on that, Domo. We may not agree with, like I said, a lot of the lifestyle of our literary folk in Black community, but definitely, man, it is always needed. And just reading will enhance your understanding of the world, and shit like that happens. After reading that book, Possessing the Temple of My Familiar, I went to start looking that shit up, and I couldn't believe the barbarity that was taking place, and still to this day that takes place over there. That stopped my glorification of Africa just generally and blatantly. You know what I'm saying? To me, you know, I had made Africa the other heaven. Africa. And I found out the shit that some of my cousins still participated in. I had to be a lot more discreet and selective about aspects of Africa that I promoted, pushed, and talked about, man. So yeah, definitely. Shouts out to Alice Walker.
You really just learn that shit. You can't romanticize nothing, bro.
Yeah.
You can't really, like, everything has its good and bad. And that's why I kind of talk about like Black people being culturally cohesive, like Black people being like, it's like, yeah, like we got, it's like all this negative shit that we told to focus on, but just like everything else, we have positives that we can build on, that we can reflect on, that's productive. You know what I'm saying? It's not always like, oh, we got it, like Black people, see, this is our problem. Like, yeah, but these is also our solutions, and these is also like our productive shit. You feel me? But the shit that we want to hold on to be the counterproductive shit. You know what I mean? The shit that we grew from. Like, I feel like what I think is the most disrespectful thing about Black people is how we treat Black feminism, bro. It's just
right.
Like,
what is that? What is it? You gonna make me go into a whole nother? I was going 2 hours, but you know how you are, boy. You like an extreme. It's hard to catch your ass.
It's more of an extreme form of feminism. It's an extreme form because in feminism, they don't give a damn about the men. Like, they don't care to change the men. But when you talking about Black feminism, they actually care about us in a way that they're trying to actually change. You know what I mean? The way that we view shit. They actually saving us in a way.
But like, listen. This is the thing. This is the thing, right? It was Black women who were both a part of the Black Power movement, and they were both a part of a feminist movement, and was like, both of these shits is missing this one thing. Because in the Black Power movement, these Black men was told to, you know, they got to be prone. You feel me? Like they had secondary status because they was women, no matter how prominent they was. The Angela Davises, and, you know what I'm saying? Then in the feminist movement, they was Black. So even though they were in this struggle with women, right? The struggle of white women, the narrative of white women dictated and dominated that movement. So these Black women was like, well, fuck it. We gonna remove ourselves from both of these movements and centralize and create a foundation that fills the gaps where both of y'all get it wrong. And this is where people get it fucked up. And I defend this shit to the T. I don't give a fuck how no niggas feel. Shit, I consider myself a Black feminist. Where what they said was, if you solve the issue of the Black woman, you solve the issues for everyone. Everybody. If the Black woman is liberated, everyone is liberated. Because if you look at the social hierarchies, how all of this shit is set up, it is the Black woman who ends up being, and I mean, and this is, they even teach this in feminist philosophy. It's like, if you look at it's a very simplified hierarchy. You know what I mean? But if we look at it from the intersections of, because this is another part of it's just both feminist thought, but also CRT, which is intersectionality. Which is like the idea that like our identities are made up of multiple intersections. We're not just one thing, right? Like Younger, you're not just Black,
right?
You're a Black man. You know what I'm saying? Your identity intersect that's where your race and gender intersect. And then your sexuality, you a Black heterosexual male. I'm assuming. No disrespect.
Your assumption is correct. No disrespect. No disrespect.
You know what I'm saying? So like boom. So you got, and then like whether or not you single, whether or not you know what I'm saying, your social economic background, all of those things intersect to create who you are as a person.
Mhm.
You feel me? So if we look at it from those intersections, black men like have an intersex where I'm black and we have this disadvantage, but we exist in a patriarchal society. And this is where it's a lot of debates surrounding is there such thing called black male privilege. Which I don't agree with that term. I don't think it's a such thing as black male privilege.
Right, I was gonna ask you that. That sounds like an oxymoron to me. Black male privilege. This is the first time I'm hearing that.
Exactly. It's debates in the gender and queer studies. But the idea is still though that, for example, black men and white women occupy a very similar space in the sense that as black men and we talking about heterosexual black men and white women, we both occupy the space of being heterosexual, so that gives you an advantage in the society. We occupy the space of black men occupy the space of being a male, so you have that advantage, and white women occupy the space of being white, so they have that advantage. You feel me? So the only thing that, like, when you go down though, that black woman, we live in an anti-black society and we live in a patriarchal society. They don't occupy any space of any advantage.
Yeah,
you feel me? And so because of that, if you elevate them, the people who don't occupy any space of any advantage, you elevating everybody. What the part that we missed that we missed the most is that like shit like that is about inclusion. Like not forcing a lifestyle on anybody else, but allowing people to live the fucking lives that they want to live without the threat of violence. Because like nobody knows violence like black women.
Yeah. What about the minority status for Blackfoot? The advancements for minority, and this is not to cheapen or belittle the plight of black women. We're just having a discussion. So sisters, y'all don't vilify a brother. But what about minority status? Like when a company has to have that status quo, they have to have that minority. What about a black woman? How do we explain the advancement of black women in society, in the workplace, in society, in the hierarchy in society? You know, I dare to say black women are actually a step above black men in societal placement.
Well, they always seen, the country has always viewed black women as workers before they've ever viewed them as mothers.
Yeah.
So that's why they've always had more work. You know, even when you talk about during the red summers and all of that shit.
Because the idea if you look at the numbers though, because you know I do DEI shit, right? When you look at the numbers, which it's you have black women occupying these in spaces that they are making room for, where they're still where they still heavily underrepresented though is in C-suite positions. And C-suite positions is like CEOs, CFOs, you know what I'm saying, those type of executives. You feel me? So it's like upper, I mean, you got black women occupying a lot more spaces in upper middle management. Right? Which, and then you think about, so she beating out white men, or she beating out some white men, right? She beating out white women and she beating out black men. The reason why I believe this shit to be true, like, because you know everybody been speaking on the phenomenon, because black women didn't have to work harder. Period. Like for example, like when it came to, I feel like it was even just growing up, like I knew it was easier being a boy. I had all less restrictions. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like when it came to like my sexuality and me messing with girls, that was I was cool. I was good. It wasn't you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta be like this. If you get and what it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't get no girl pregnant.
Right. You're almost encouraged to go out and conquer. It's like what Blue pointed out, you know, sexualization, that's a part of the conquering thing. When you pointed out black male culture, you're almost encouraged to go out and be, you know, aggressive sexually, you know, get a conquest, get a notch in your belt.
And then at the same time, not have like being able to distance yourself from the accountability.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like I think
Right.
that, like that's
Yeah.
what make it even more like that.
Yeah.
That privilege in and of itself, being able to distance yourself from accountability, that ain't mine.
Yeah.
Being able to leave, disappear,
Yeah.
not answer phone calls. You
Yeah.
feel me? That
Yeah.
that in and of itself, like it created it. Like women recognize that, they felt that, especially black women. So they was like, we're not getting pregnant by these niggas. We're not staying in the hood. You know what I mean? Like I'm not about to just be no hairdresser. I'm not about to just be the like. I mean, which I see it in real life because all the black women, like most of the black women I'm surrounded by, is like phenomenal. My wife,
Mhm.
I ain't trying to spread in her business, but she amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, I mean, like her position, everything else. Like she
Mhm.
fucking dope. Her friends are fucking dope, and they all, you know what I'm saying? These are all black women. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so it's one of them things where it's like, shit, niggas need to step they shit up, and
Right.
instead of being mad that motherfuckers is saying step your shit up, nigga,
Step your shit
actually
up.
just do that shit.
Right.
You feel me? Like niggas want to sit
Right.
around and niggas want to sit around and but be mad that a motherfucker saying like, hey, I don't know, I ain't black man, I don't know what y'all. Why? See, they always want to beat up on the black man. Nah, nigga,
Right.
what is you doing?
Right. Nigga, step
What
your
are you
game
doing?
up. Listen, you guys. I'm coming in on my last hour. I have other appointments. Domo, I don't know what you're doing tomorrow. I already have a title for tomorrow's show: patriarchy, black feminism, and black women in society. I want to continue this discussion. I want to know more about black
Yeah.
feminism. I want to know more of this thing. And this goes into a little bit of what like Blue was debating on. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here, my mouth is open. I don't know. I'm not going to turn on my camera because I ain't, shit, my lips are still, I just ain't even feeling it today, man. I don't even feel like looking at my goddamn self with this healing process. But I definitely want to, man, my mouth is just open. Like, you guys are offering perspectives. Not just are they interesting, I mean, they're very insightful. Let's continue this thing tomorrow about 1:30, 2 o'clock. What you guys think? Can I get a loose commitment?
Yeah, I'm off.
Shit,
I can do that.
tomorrow I'm gonna be busy. Today my little slower day. I gotta I teach on Thursdays. Uh
Oh,
so
okay.
When's your break in between teaching? When are you off after you teaching? I'm sure it's time with the fam. Do you have an in between time in the meantime tomorrow?
Nah, because I do my podcast tomorrow too.
Oh, okay. Well,
So,
definitely put it
so I
off
gotta
in the
do it later
chat.
tomorrow.
I'm coming on at 2. We just gonna make it so interesting. You gonna sneak your ass on here in some of you gonna hear it. Like I gotta drop this. That's just how dope it's gonna be. Blue, let's do that
Yeah, because
tomorrow,
I may actually end up debating that, man. To be honest, I might throw that out there.
man. This is
Because that might. Me and
yo.
Trevor was actually gonna get that one in too. I
I
might
think
do
niggas
that.
is saying brother polite pled guilty.
What?
Whoa,
Yeah.
sheesh,
I'm sure that's about to be all over the tube.
shit,
Yo, I'm sure
boy.
that's about to be everywhere. It's about to be a million shows on that. I might just
Well,
fall back and get one. Listen, I want to thank you, but Domo, man, it's always a pleasure, man. Feel free anytime to follow through.
definitely.
Your insight is always welcome, bro. Just your energy and your presence and shit, it's always welcome, and it's enjoyable, man. I appreciate you gracing my little 64 subscriptions. I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, yeah.
Blue,
It's all love. It's all
oh
love.
man,
It's
it's up,
all
man.
love.
Always has been, man. I've always appreciated you. Blue, congratulations again, my guy, on that fabulous victory. I know that going into the Rio, that shit's gonna be intense. That is going to be an
Yeah,
intense debate. I can't wait to see that. You following through tomorrow to do this patriarchy black woman thing,
yeah, I'm
man?
gonna pop up.
Man,
Yeah, I'm
let's
off tomorrow, man.
do
So I'll
that, man.
definitely be.
Oh hell yeah,
Okay.
let's do that. So we'll put that out there. Shouts out to everybody out there, people that grace through. If you're still out there listening, smash the like. When you came in, if you're gonna go back and re-listen, smash the like. Let's get it out there. Hell, even subscribe, it ain't gonna kill you. Shouts out to SVDL. the only debate league. Its commissioners, Angel, Sola. Listen, issuing again a formal apology. Last night, I just got excited, cut Sola off. Like, yo, man, let the debaters talk. Yo, man, charge it to the head, not the heart. The atmosphere was so fucking electric. My time was limited. I just wanted to jump in there and this and that. No disrespect intended by it, just was exciting. Everything was just going down. It was really a circus, energy circus environment, just off the hook. Man, any parting words for you, Blue, before we close this thing out, bro?
Hey man, yeah, definitely. I think well, you already know, man, I gotta give a special praise to the most beautiful goddess of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, Stimia. Stimia is the most beautiful Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay.
Man, definitely. I appreciate you having me on, man. I'll be back tomorrow.
Man, definitely looking forward to it. Yo, if y'all out there, check us out tomorrow, 2 o'clock. We're going to be going further into this patriarchy, black woman, the whole thing. I think it's going to be so good. We may even can expect a little something from Domo. If not, this is Yanga. No telling who the hell is going to pop up, contributed, but it's always going to be dynamic when they do pop up and contribute. There again, man, that's me sending my shouts out and saying peace. Until next time, man. Peace.